Hi, I'm Alice. Kim has graciously agreed to share with us Best of Friends Gardening, a private garden tour. Tell us a little bit about how you got started on your Best of Friends garden. That's an interesting title.
I came up with Best of Friends Garden since I had a lot of friends and family give me plants advice. When I was thinking about naming it, that's to thank everybody for plants they've given me, flowers, and education.
That sounds wonderful. Why don't we check it out?
We'll head out to the garden. I've really enjoyed it. It brings a lot of peace and comfort. I actually started in May and just gradually added. My main interest was pollinators, bees, butterflies. I have a real good friend, and she shares videos about how she raises butterflies, and that got me really interested. I just kind of researched and Googled to find out what butterflies really like, what the bees like, and that's what I went with. But the interesting part is it actually started out with a birthday gift from my boys and my nephew and family. They came and fixed it for me for sunflowers, and it did beautiful. But overnight, the deer mowed them down. I knew that wasn't going to work. I decided to go ahead and start planting flowers. And this is where I'm at since May to now, which I think is pretty good.
How many months would that be?
5 months. It doesn't take long. Usually I don't have patience. I don't like to wait. But for this, it really is great.
This gate looks interesting.
It's actually a bench my uncle made for me.
Tell us a little bit about what he did. That's unusual.
He is great at woodwork, and I had the idea for something for sitting and relaxing, watching the bees, watching the butterflies. I showed him a picture, and he came up with it. I stained it, so hopefully it'll last through the rain. That's a must. I have really enjoyed it. He's a great uncle. He's in his 80s. He just loves doing stuff, and he actually made me the board for the sign. Everybody helps out to make it a success, something I can enjoy.
This is an unusual garden bed.
Yes, the design was rectangle all the way down with the sunflowers. I decided to make it smaller, not as wide. I had the one end, then I said, let me match the other end. And just little by little,
This is one end.
you can see the bees. And Miss Alice, that's a blue Ravinia.
That's a blue salvia. And that's a real hit. You chose well when you put that one in.
The bees love it. That's their favorite out of all of them so far. So if you want bees, that's the one to get. And this one is supposed to be for the butterflies. I've had no butterflies, and then all of a sudden I had 3, and that's about the most I've counted so far. This one is the Mexican petunia. I do have a caterpillar. I was told not to kill any caterpillars. That's the first one I've actually seen.
This plant
Was very small. It took 5 months, and it has just tripled in size. My advice, if you want something that will fill in a spot, this is great. It did bloom late, just started blooming the last 3-4 weeks. It's a great filler for a spot. This one is a milkweed, and it was recommended for the butterflies. Lantanas, they have done amazing. I did buy locally. It was stud stills in Madison. They were very tiny,
a 2-gallon
painter, and they have just tripled in size. One thing I'd like to share is if you're interested in doing a garden bed is lots of layer to keep weeds from growing. I did do cardboard. It gets wet. I did have weeds to grow through it, so I got a real thick black plastic. You can get it in the garden section and put it down, and then red cypress mulch. I don't have to spray it. I occasionally have to pull a weed. Saves a lot of work.
Now, I noticed that this is an L shape at the end. Could you tell us a little bit about how you came up with this design?
The design just happened. It was the same width all the way down, and that was a bit too much for me starting out for the first time. When I bought the plants, I always buy 2 of the same. I started putting 1 of each at each end, and I didn't have enough room, so then I went out a little further on the corners.
Let's see what the other end looks like. It's a duplicate of this end, similar, right?
Yeah.
In terms of shape.
Yep.
This is kind of interesting.
Yeah, these are spider lilies. My niece gave me every one of them. She was redoing her yard and had extras. Planted those. That's what started it out, was the spider lilies. And then I just went around them with the flowers for pollinators.
And is the edging? This looks kind of unique over here.
On YouTube, looking up ideas for garden bed, garden decorations. So Dollar Tree loved me, and some friends gave me plates when I asked if anybody had any old plates. I did this in about an hour and a half. It gives it color while I was waiting on my flowers to bloom. It's a lot of conversation, people driving by, they love it. Then had the idea of the teapots to go with the dinner plates. And then over on the sitting area, I put the coffee cups and saucers just as a little getaway.
You have teapots on those hooks?
The shepherd hooks. These are actually from Dollar Tree, and they hold up a teapot really well. It's pretty heavy. I put JB Wells on the lid to keep them closed so it doesn't fall off.
You put what on the lid?
It's JB Wells. It's a glue. It's for glass, ceramics, indoor, outdoor. The glass, I call it a birdbath decorative piece. I make those. My niece was at a yard sale, and a lady had purchased all her glassware for her wedding, and she wanted it out of her way. So my niece sent me pictures and said, "Aunt KK, can you do anything with these? Would you like them?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, load them up." So she brought me 3 tote fulls of glass, dinner plates, saucers, bowls. I've been making a bunch of the little bird bath where you put bird seed in them to draw the birds.
The full sun garden?
Yes, totally full sun, which is a challenge. I didn't have any water supply out here. So for a long time, I was toting water buckets, which gave me good exercise. I like to do things cheap way. So I told my husband, we're going to get some T-posts, and you can see out here, a good tip is your water source for watering. I'm a shabby chic, yard sale, Goodwill thrifter. I was trying to come up with a cheap, inexpensive way of running water out because I was carrying it, but I didn't want to dig for a water line, not knowing if this is what I was going to want in case I want to change it around. So I told my husband, we're going to get T-posts, which we already had. We put them in the ground, and now I have the water hose, and I pull it to whichever T-post of the yard that I need water. And as far as the sprinkler waters, I can get all of the yard within 2.5 hours.
Can you explain this setup up here?
Mm-hmm. You can get these at any hardware store. And I did get mine at Tractor Supply. This just screws to adjust, and I slid it over the T-post and run my water hose, and it's all one piece.
It's very sturdy.
Yeah.
Do you know about how high it was? This is 6 feet.
Yeah. The post itself is longer because there's probably 3 foot in the ground. So you would probably want to go 9, 10 foot to give you extra to go in the ground. This, my great nephew, he is 11 now, but for my birthday, when my son and my nephew, his dad, his wife had the idea to give me the sunflower bed that I was wanting. He painted it and welded it so that I could put it on a T-post. It's another art decoration for me. So that means a lot. He was 10 when he did that.
Did you do the assembly of the butterfly or did he do that?
I put this on there, and it's solar, so it lights up at night.
I bet that's a conversation piece for people driving down the road.
Crape myrtles. I got one here, one over there. Miss Stephanie Ruff, actually, her husband does the cutting. And when I was over visiting her La La Land garden, he shared and gave me the crape myrtles.
Are these the small shrub ones?
Yeah.
Or are these going to be tree size?
They are the shrubs.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea how big they're going to get?
I don't. This is going to be a surprise. I need to weed. I haven't weed. The only place it comes out is where my black plastic and mulch comes out to. So it works really well. Saves you a lot of time.
You know right where to go.
Yep.
And you can efficiently pull them out.
That's it. Don't take long at all.
And I can see your pollinators busy on the loose salvia. We've now got butterflies. It looks like we have some of the sulphur butterflies flying around.
What is
that?
Irish Spring soap. And Miss Stephanie, I keep talking about her, but she is a wonderful person. She gave me the ideas after I told her about the deer mowing down my sunflowers. She said, get you the Irish Spring soap, put it on the hook, and it'll disturb them. And it did. It has worked.
Do you have any idea how long the bed is? The dimension?
I'd say over 40 feet.
It's longer than 40 feet, and then it comes out
probably 15 feet wide.
15 feet on either end, and that's plenty.
Yes, that's a lot of work.
This is lovely.
Thank you. When you are planting, you might want to consider how far apart you plant them. Even though they're tiny, you have to remember how big they're going to get. And I love to walk through them, so that's why I planted mine so far apart. I know a lot of people like them under each other. I like to walk through and check them out.
Well, that's a good tip. Know your mature size, and then if you have other criteria, like you want to walk between your plants, then you need to go out further. Did you have any kind of plan for how you wanted your colors?
Blue is my favorite color, but I do like the purple. And it just happened. This was my first project from last year. My niece got me a real good deal on this. They're pretty expensive just to fill with dirt and plants, but it had rust, so she got it at a discount, gave it to me. My husband, Doug, helped me fill it in. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on potting mix. He put a load of dirt, and then I filled the top with topsoil. I planted the calla lilies. These are day lilies. These are some fall plants to fill it in, some fall colors. My uncle made me the birdhouse.
What kind of bird is this for?
Mockingbird. Had some babies in there. I could hear them. Left them alone when she had her babies in there, so I wouldn't scare her off. But that was fun. This is a cow trough, what they used for putting water for the cow fields, or you can put the hay in it.
Does it have a bottom?
It does. It does have a bottom.
How did you have to prepare the soil underneath it before you placed this?
We didn't. We just laid the trough right on the grass.
Did you need to do any drainage holes in it?
It has a drain hole, so I did leave it open.
That's a container garden idea that people might want to try in their yard.
This was another project that I saw online, and of course I just had to do it, and my sister-in-law helped me out. I got these really cheap at her work. When they get things that are damaged, she's able to mark them down. They're panels they put up to keep cows in. My sons assembled them for me. I got grapevines on each side. I did it hopefully high enough that I can go under and pick grapes one day. I did have to put the Irish Spring soap to keep the deer away. This is my first time. I would think that nothing could grow on such a skinny vine, but it has been loaded with grapes.
That's the type of grape.
And I have eaten them.
Are these grapes going to be table grapes like you eat for snacks, or are these more?
You can do them for jams.
You have a vine on each side.
And I hope one day it'll just cover it up.
Kim, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us that could help us be successful gardeners?
Just have fun, be patient, you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of hard work and sweat, but definitely worth it when you can sit and just enjoy it and show it off.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any similar experience, please leave a friendly comment below. Here are a few videos that you might enjoy watching next, and please subscribe. See you in the next video.